who you are, knowing who you are. This is a masterclass that has shifted its title completely just right now. And this happened because life is dynamic. And this is what it's supposed to happen right now. For it to change what it was. Because this is what needs to be transmitted rather than the other masterclass that was planned that will probably come in the future or not. We'll see about that. Okay, so in this masterclass, disclaimer, by the end of the masterclass, you are not going to know who you are. It does not happen like that. Just so you know if that's what you're expecting. What's gonna happen, you will get a lot of shift in the way you perceive yourself, in the way you think you are, shift in how authentic do you think you are right now. Chances are you think you're more authentic than you actually are. And even if you are already aware of that, but don't know how to shift that, this is what this masterclass is for. Guiding you into what to do in order to make the shifts that you want. The shifts from being inauthentic, is that the word? Inauthentic or unauthentic? Whatever, not authentic, or at least not feel that. Actually, even talking about what authentic actually is. What is being authentic? What is self-expression? Because basically this is what it is about, self-expression. It's in its most authentic form. And then figuring out how authentic are you right now or not. And how to actually get to that essence, to that core. Because, just spoiler, I'm gonna tell you right now, by holding on tight to this idea of I want to know who I am and I have to figure this out, that's the opposite of what you will acquire. You will not get to who you really are if you get attached to that idea and to that need of knowing who you are. There's quite a difference between actively doing something about discovering who you are by genuinely being curious and wanting to experiment with yourself and to get out of your habits and who you think you are or who other people think you are or who other people want you to be. And it's another thing to be like, oh, I need to figure this out. Like right now, I need to know who I am. And yet another spoiler is the fact that you are not going to ever figure out who you are and, oh God, I did this, check. And now that I know, I can move on with my life being this. It's not how it works. Because one, you are not going to, knowing who you are is not about being able to express it in one sentence, because you're way more complex than that. Knowing who you are means having that knowingness within you, not trying to convince others of who you are or trying to explain it. Sure, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself in one way or another. But whenever you start expressing yourself, it's just a glimpse of who you actually are. Who you are as a whole is way more complex than that. And it's not about knowing who you are, it's not about getting to a sentence at the end to be like, oh, this is who I am. That's not going to happen. You're just going to have this knowingness of this is who I am, meaning that, again, you have a knowingness within you, and it has nothing to do with outside opinions or validations. Like other people on the outside cannot tell you, cannot define who you are. Only you can do that. And now the other thing is you will never get to that point of, okay, this is who I am, and from now on, I'm just gonna act as such, and I don't have to figure this out anymore. It's not a problem to solve figuring out who you are. It's a fucking game. And it's a game because there is no ending to it, because you are shifting all the fucking time. You are always evolving. You are always shifting, because it's not necessarily about, when I use the word evolve, you may think like you're going into one direction or the other. It's not about good or bad or going forward, backwards, or whatever. It's just about shifting. Things are shifting. You are morphing constantly. And so you are never going to get to the end of figuring out who you are, because it's not a chore. It's not something that you have to do. You can know exactly who you are, be perfectly in tune with who you are at your core, and in the same time, you are still unveiling parts of yourself on this journey called life on earth, in this body that you have right now. So that's what we're going to be discussing in this masterclass in a nutshell. Okay, hang on tight.